First thing to say is I'm quite glad to have called the no confidence vote correctly, and as crap as this situation is, I'm just glad that we're not having another general election. I think that would have thrown all the known cards right in the air again, and we just don't need it right now. But a snap general election still can't be ruled out, because unlike a Conservative vote of no confidence in the leader, the opposition can call a vote of no confidence at any time with permission of the Speaker. And William Hague has been saying that he thinks the media has been downplaying the risk of another election. He said that she wanted to reach out to other parties to join Brexit talks, but Number 10 added later that she would stick to her core principles on Brexit, which means she's not prepared to give up her red lines, i.e. ending freedom of movement, ending the oversight of the ECJ, and being able to trade with non-EU countries. So she's lost the meaningful vote, but she's not prepared to back down from the red lines that created that oddly shaped deal in the first place. And Barnier said that there's no room for leeway apart from cosmetic changes to the deals as it stands. But if she were to drop her red lines, that'd be a different story. No deal remains the default, especially now that MPs have voted down the only deal that was on the table. There's still a small cadre of Tory MPs who would like the UK to just walk away from the EU, but increasingly there are calls for May to rule out no deal, which just seems impossible to me. I think an alternative Brexit plan will be a softer form of Brexit, for example, staying in the single market like Norway, or as a member of the customs union a bit like Turkey, or indeed both. But that will mean May having to drop several of her red lines. And of course there is the possibility of a second referendum, and there is some evidence that support for that is growing. However, it's still such a divisive option. There is no clear majority in either direction, and we could just end up in exactly the same place as we are now. Despite May being adamant that we're leaving the EU on the 29th of March, insiders now think that it's when, not if, that we will extend Article 50. And European leaders have been open to this, as long as the UK is clear about where it's going and not still just playing for time. You might have had a suggestion by an MP called Nick Bowles that we can rescind Article 50 in order to buy ourselves some time, because we don't need the other 27 member states to agree to that. However, the EU has said that if we do rescind Article 50, it has to be unequivocal. And by unequivocal, they mean if you rescind Article 50, you can only do it if you intend to stay. And they've been very clear that they would accept the UK back on all the same terms, with all the same opt-outs and all the same benefits, if we did decide to stay. The main thing to get across to you about the current situation is that we are even more deadlocked than we were before. We have no option on the table, and somebody somewhere has to budge. And I think it's going to have to be Theresa May and her red lines. That's my bet.